Hello, 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 hello. Welcome. How are we all doing?
Hello.
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 Can you hear us all?
So I think you're good. Judging by what I can see on my end, you don't have to shout. Hopefully, people will still be able to hear. Here we go. All right. Welcome back, everybody, to another Top Drives live stream. Today we're doing something a little bit different. It's not quite a Q&A stream. No. It's just going to be a little casual chat. Yep. We're just going to hang out. We're going to talk about some Top Drive stuff. We asked a couple of you guys a question on Discord, which we've got some really fun answers to, so we'll talk about that. Anyway, my name is Caleb. I am the community coordinator on Top Drives. I'm joined by...
Hi, Ben, car manager on Top Drives, and...
There's nobody.
Just some guy. We just pulled him off the street.
Very nice. Who is he? Like, what is he doing here?
Yeah.
Who is this guy? I'm not sure.
He's the new intern.
New intern,
He's
yes.
the yoga intern.
Yoga.
But yes, it's Dimitri, in case people didn't know.
Yeah,
who
just
is.
Dimitri.
Just Dimitri. That
One
would
night.
be. Someone even said no shout out, Dimitri, please. We're not allowed to give you a shout out.
I've got 3 shoutouts to do today.
You've got 3 shout outs to do.
Yeah.
You want to do?
I've asked people. We'll get there eventually. But yeah, I'll
Cool.
do 3 shoutouts.
Yeah. All right. I'm interested
Still
to see
to
what they
come.
will be. Very exciting stuff.
Soon.
Yeah. So I hope everyone's doing well. This is a nice chat stream, so there isn't too much of an agenda. But you know what? Because I'm me, I've still prepared a little presentation for us to go through.
You do like a presentation.
Apparently I do. I didn't think I did,
Yeah.
but apparently I do. So here we go. First topic of discussion, which I think I should bring up, is that we just released update 18.1.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, this is well, no new cars in this one. That's why it's a sort of 0.1 update. This is just a couple of bug fixes and a couple of big new features. And I know there is one in there that people really want me to talk about. And don't worry, I will talk about that. That's coming up in a bit. So yeah, there's a couple of interesting things in this, and I guess we should just start with the main 2 big ones. The first one is interstitials, which is going to be basically a new way for us to get information to you guys in the game. So when you boot up, you'll be presented with a screen that will tell you about something going on in the game. Might be the Tri-Series, might be another event that we've got running or something like that. Maybe a new collection series. But that should be pretty helpful for just keeping you all informed about what's going on. So that should be pretty helpful. The other one, which I think is probably the biggest thing in this update, although technically, even though the update's out, it hasn't really appeared yet, and for good reason. And that is the minimum races per prize tier feature that we had spoken about actually a couple times in the roadmap in the past. So to give a little explanation as to what this is going to be, just a sort of top level explanation. Basically, the way it currently works in events in the game is you join an event and you race, and then you win, and you go up the prize tiers as you win, right?
Yep.
And then you'll be awarded a prize based on how well you did in the event. So there's been issues before with people joining late, playing like very few races, but winning, and therefore getting really good prizes, like say the Tri-Series prize car or something like that. So this aims to mitigate that issue a little bit. So basically the idea will be now that you have to race in a minimum amount of races before you unlock a certain prize tier. Now that's per tier, so minimum races per prize tier. So I can't tell you the exact number it will be per prize tier because it's going to be different per event, depending. But basically, we will be saying that before each event, like how many races you'll need for each prize tier. And yeah, basically, what this means is people will have to race more to be able to unlock the better rewards. Now, I imagine there's a lot of questions about this. And in the release notes that we put out a couple hours ago today, we didn't give out a whole load of detail on this, and for good reason, because we're going to be writing a full FAQ. Well, actually, it's already begun. Yeah, so that will be coming out soon. And it will be coming out before the first event that uses any of this new minimum races per prize tier stuff. So you don't have to worry about basically joining an event, not knowing what's going on yet, because I understand this is quite a radical change to how events work, and I know a couple of people have been a little bit worried about that. But you won't have to worry about that at all. All will be revealed very shortly. And I might be able to answer some questions about it now, but again, I also want to make sure that we're all on the same page. All the information will be in the FAQ, so don't worry about that and look out for that.
I just wanted to quickly mention on the first feature that you mentioned. So we did kind of have something like the interstitials in top drives back in the day. So the way it worked, it would actually, from a technical point of view, it used to work, use the same technology as the daily reward screen. So, but instead, we would show you something, that has to do with some kind of collection series, for example. So we use them, every couple of months. So you would log into the game, and you would see that screen, and there would be like a button that would allow you to go, for example, into like a store or something like that. There was a problem with it, is that because it was tied to the daily reward screen, it wouldn't show up until unless if you have already picked up your daily reward, you will only show the next day. So as far as my understanding goes, this completely eliminates the problem with the new interstitials. So that's a pretty cool addition.
As far as I know, I don't know if we've actually put one into the game yet. I'm not sure if it's been tested, but you will see shortly, I would imagine. So a couple of. Well, actually, one pretty big new feature there with the minimum races per price tier, and a pretty interesting feature in the interstitial thing.
One of those race tiers thing. Obviously, with things that have to do with late joining have been around for a while, and this just be a little bit of patient with us. You will see how it works. Don't worry about it. There will be answers to all of your questions, and obviously the team will be taking feedback on board as well, and probably making certain changes based on that, depending like the number of races that you need to win and things like that, or to do rather than win. Just stay patient. Don't worry. There will be information shared with you. I
should point out as well that this first event that we are going to run with the new feature, it's not going to be a collection series or a tri series. So I know obviously like in the long run we want to introduce this into things like tri series to mitigate the late joining and give basically everyone a fairer chance at getting the rewards you want to get. But obviously we understand this is going to be the first time that we run this, so we want to put it on another event, which you'll find out about pretty soon.
Do we know when players can expect the FAQ and more answers? Do you have any?
It will likely be tomorrow.
Okay.
It will likely be tomorrow.
So tomorrow.
Yeah. So yeah.
You're
kind of scary. Don't be scared. It's gonna be fine. I promise.
Yeah, I see a lot of people saying don't bring the next update yet. Well, yeah, this is a smaller update. Obviously, it doesn't bring any new cars. But no one's gonna be lying to you. We're working on the next car update. That's for sure. So
there will be. That will happen.
Yes.
Soon.
Happen.
There we go.
Eventually.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I hope everyone is enjoying the update so far. If you haven't downloaded it yet, I believe it's rolled out to everybody now, so you can hit up your app store and get that downloaded. Caleb is scary. Sorry about that.
Why is he saying that?
Oh, he said respectfully, of course. It's okay. He's respectfully calling me scary. There you go. So that's 18.1.
Yeah, I've got some shoutouts.
Oh, here we go,
First of all, we've got 1999 Volkswagen Jetta GT. Shout out to you. We've got Safi the Proto Station as number 2, and Mr. Nieta as number 3, respectfully. So
why do you want to shout those guys out?
I don't know. They just asked. They
asked if they could have a
shout out,
okay.
And they just said, and I'm like, these are like awesome people, just
all very much deserve that shout out.
Absolutely, yeah.
Shout out to you guys. All right.
Someone on Discord is asking, does Caleb only have turtlenecks in his wardrobe?
That's not far off the truth. This is a new turtleneck. I have one other one. So yeah, I got those, and also apparently pajamas, which I haven't busted out in a while.
Yeah, they can't decide what they want. So.
Yeah, I know. It's a little cold for the pajamas at the moment. Maybe when we get into the summer, we'll bring those back out.
We don't own turtlenecks, do we, Dimitri? We don't have a turtleneck, do we? I don't.
I don't know.
I like how you said we don't have a turtleneck. Like you have one big turtleneck. That you both
one that we share.
Yeah.
No, I don't personally own a turtleneck because Caleb won't tell me where he buys them, so I can't go and get one.
Nobody knows.
So it's secret.
Yeah. But there you go.
If you want us all to wear turtlenecks next time, we will.
Let us know.
Although not when it gets to summer though.
Yeah, no, that's when I switch back to pajamas. The two items of clothing that I own, it's only those.
Yeah, I think you've got something really cool for. I don't know if that's where you want to go next, but I think you have something really cool, Caleb, with players sharing their cars. Is that the next thing?
Yes. All right. So basically, I thought for this chat stream, because we had such a good time on the last stream, asking you to share your diecast models and everything.
Yeah.
I wanted to do something similar this time. So I took to Discord with our new forum function that's in there. There's a couple of forums. We have basically a new section there where we're going to ask questions for the live stream. So this week I asked people, show us a car you own or previously owned in real life and tell us a cool story about it. And we got some really, really cool submissions here. But before we get onto those, which, by the way, the 3 people we picked one submission each, and they're all going to win a CF pack. So once again, keep an eye for future streams, because there's a chance to win stuff there, which will be very fun. But before we get onto the people that we actually picked, Ben has answered this question for us. And we've got a couple of cool pictures. He's going to regale us with the story of one of his cars.
Of the time I owned a Volvo V70 D5.
Yes.
Which may not sound like a very interesting car.
I think the image I'm about to flick to will make it interesting.
If you want to flick to that.
There we go.
So this is my 2012 Volvo V70 D5 that used to be a police car in Suffolk, England. And the interesting thing about the police version is that it can drive up curbs at 60 miles an hour. It's fully reinforced underneath. It has more power. Has a twin turbo 5-cylinder.
Did you test it driving up a curb at 60 miles an hour?
I did it at 40 on a track during a shoot just to see if it would do it, and it made the most horrendous noise I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
Is that engine stock?
So it had allegedly around about 240 horsepower, so about 25 up from factory.
Okay.
But it had more torque.
Through what? Through what? With what? How did they improve it?
It had a remap, and it had a different exhaust system on it.
Okay.
So and it had larger brakes on the front. Which the discs were very hard to get hold of when it came to replace them. And it had holes in the roof from where the lights used to be, and holes in the interior where various bits of police equipment used to be. But it was also a 6-speed manual. And it made a great 5-cylinder noise. And it was a great car. And it was very, very cheap because it had holes in the roof.
I would imagine that
was the mileage in it.
When I got it, it had 153,000 miles on it. So, and it.
How do people even buy ex-cop cars? Like, how does that even work?
Yeah, where did you get it?
So I got it from a guy on eBay, which is always
I'm assuming
not a great place to start.
Shall I swap to when it is no longer a cop car?
Yeah, yeah. So that's what it looked like once because it came to me with no lights and no chevrons on it, so it was all just normal, and it had kind of this black interior that was waterproof, well, everything proof, because it was meant for.
Bulletproof.
I think more fluid proof.
That doesn't help.
Yeah, I think
especially if we've got some holes in the roof.
Yeah, I think it was, and it had like weird cubby holes in the boot and stuff where you could put stuff like guns possibly.
Nice.
Yeah.
Umbrellas.
Yeah. So it was actually quite a cool looking car when it was all machine polished and everything else. So, but it didn't end well. There were a few issues, just more than a few.
Shall I swap to the biggest one? That's the biggest one.
So
if you can tell,
I can't see.
They're firefighters.
Yeah, they're firefighters. So I was driving it in February 2020, and I stopped at a junction as I got off a motorway or highway, depending on what you call it, depending where you're from. And the entire cabin filled with smoke. Because the engine was on fire. So, I panicked and I drove about 100 yards to a Starbucks car park where I tried to put the fire. My car's on fire. I needed coffee. No, so that was the only off-road area that was available to me within 100 yards.
Right.
It's either that or sit at a roundabout and then watch it catch fire, or get it off the road so I could try and not endanger other people.
Just blow up a Starbucks, I guess. No.
Yeah, so the
Don't wanna miss
Starbucks
that.
was the immediate left from the roundabout I was on fire at. And tried to put the fire out, couldn't
With coffee.
for a few minutes, with coffee, and a fire extinguisher.
Yes, that would help.
And I couldn't put it out, so I had to call the fire brigade. And it was kind of smoking quite a lot, and there was a bit of flame and stuff. And four fire engines turned up. I needed one.
I mean, again, I'm not going to be the one to tell a firefighter how to do their job.
Yeah.
They thought I needed 4.
So
I would be. 4 is an overkill.
yeah,
As soon as you get there, like, no, 3, you go home right now.
I was just standing back, going, my car is now actually on fire. Anyway, they put the fire out really quickly, and they were really nice about it. And they said you did the right thing. You called the fire brigade, which is what they're for. The car did still start, and then
I
I
wouldn't
got
take
it.
any chances. Though.
I got it towed home,
Yeah.
which was only a couple of miles. I was literally on my doorstep, and then I towed it to the garage the next day, and they fixed it. They replaced some pipework and a few other bits and pieces, and it ran fine for another.
Oh.
It's still running today, and it's on 170 odd thousand today, I believe.
So there wasn't that much damage from fire.
All the firewall, all the sound insulation had to be ripped out, and a few pipes had to be done, and the under bonnet, the insulation under the bonnet, kind of was slightly singed. But the turbo pipe work was fine. It survived. All the electrics had survived. Just that it stunk of smoke for forever.
Yeah, I guess that would happen. Somebody in the chat said HD Rapid ROI said 150k miles on a Volvo. It's only just wore in anyway. So
Unless you get a vac leak, and then it becomes a real pain to work on.
You should put it on auction for top dress players.
yeah.
It belongs to somebody else now. I admittedly I got annoyed with it, and then I swapped it for a Skoda. I'm really sorry about that.
What's got a Superb 2010?
No, a 2017 Skoda Octavia 1 litre with a manual.
My grandpa used to have a Skoda Octavia.
It was a great car.
Yeah.
It was reliable, which the Volvo wasn't.
What do you mean was? So you sold that as well?
Yeah, I sorted that for an Abarth 595. So
Nice.
Yeah. You still have that, I guess.
I do still have that. Yes.
But there you go.
Yeah. So it was my police Volvo that caught fire.
That is a pretty interesting story as far as car stories go.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we asked this question to a bunch of people in the community. So we got 3 that
Great
we're going to show off.
responses.
Yeah, there was some really good ones in there. It was
Some
not
really great responses.
it was not easy to pick. But yeah, let's move on to the first one. I'll show you what we got here. So this comes from Scapus9999, who said, "Everybody posting their cool sports cars. I will post my mother's first car." And I was like, all right, but that's pretty good. And my family's only car until 2003 is a Peugeot 106 of an unknown year. Fact check, do you know?
It looks like a Roland Garros edition, but I can't be sure because I can't quite see the badges on the side.
I suppose, but we'll never know.
But it is really very nice.
But yeah, so this car, he says, my parents drove to the hospital for my birth. The car my parents drove to the hospital for my sister's birth. The car that we did our first vacations, and the car that got me the first day at school. So that's a lot of significant life events have gone on in this car. So the cool story, the ex-mayor of my city lives in a building near our house. While he was unparking his car from his garage, somehow he managed to crush our car. From that day, the door of the co-driver could not open easily. The car was sold in a junkyard in 2007 or 2008, and we bought a brand new 207. My mother is a huge Peugeot supporter. I mean, that's a shame it met an end like that.
Yeah, it's not a dignified end to,
I think it's a Peugeot, yeah. I think that's how most Peugeots in their life.
It's a Peugeot 106.
It's almost like Top Gear theme
It's
music.
a classic these days. It's a very cool car though.
Yeah.
It's a shame they couldn't save it.
I want to know how it got crushed.
Even in this trim, because it's like quite basic, do you think it'd still be
Yeah,
valuable?
there's something cool about steel wheels and manual windows and no air conditioning because there's nothing to go wrong. And that car, although it's tiny and it has a tiny engine, because it's very small and light, it will still feel quick.
Yeah.
And Peugeots generally handle rather well. So
Especially if you're going to the hospital to,
yeah,
to
if
give
you're
birth.
about to give birth, it's probably one of the quickest ways to get to hospital.
Yeah.
Perhaps you might want to consider a bigger car if you're gonna
Maybe.
Yeah.
But either way, I thought that was pretty cool. So there we go.
That's very cool
Congratulations to Scappus. You've won yourself a free CF. Well done. People are still talking about your ex-police car, Ben, in the comments. Bought from a guy on eBay. Yes, he sold it to me in a back alley at night and told me it used to be a cop car. Is that how it went down?
Yeah. Something like that.
Man. All right, cool. Top Gear episodes and Peugeot drivers have done my prejudice no favours.
Actually, my dad is a Peugeot driver.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's owned several of them, and he made my younger brother buy a Peugeot as well. So,
Forced him.
Yeah, convinced him. I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
Maniac. Yeah, I remember that quote from Top Gear.
Oh, yeah, wait, I think I do actually remember that now.
Where the Peugeot just overtakes him at like low speed and he goes, Maniac.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, man. All right. Let's see what we got next, I guess.
Yeah, what car comes next?
Oh, this is the one that Ben picked. This thing is cool. We've got quite a few pictures of this one to show off. Do you want to read this one out?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take my glasses off so I can read it. It's from Happy Funny, and apparently it's their first car, a 1983 Datsun 280Z.
That's so
turbo.
nuts. Yeah.
With a straight six engine, 180 horsepower, and an automatic box. And it's finished in metallic brown with gold rims. I believe they're gold trimmed rims. And a cream interior. I mean, look at it.
Yeah, let's take a look at some of these pictures.
A first car.
That's so nuts for a first
absolutely stunning. I can't remember the year. It's a 1983 model. And it is absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
I mean, look at it.
Oh, I spoiled the next one there almost. I hope people didn't see that for too long, but yeah.
Thoughts, Dimitri?
No, it looks great. I mean, it's quite rare in the UK. You don't see a lot
Yeah.
of them these days, especially because cars rot in the
Yeah.
UK. And something that comes from 1983 as a first car, that's really a special.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how rare this color is. I imagine it probably is.
There probably were, yeah. Or there were loads of them and then they all got crushed or were
Yeah.
broken. But
Yeah, you
Well,
said
it's
it's
like a
only
very,
100
very
in Germany.
classic car, you know.
yeah, it's just a really great piece of design. And with a T-top as well, it's kind of basically, it basically turns it into a convertible when you want it to be a convertible.
Oh, that's cool.
So,
Yeah, you have to keep it for a long time, I guess.
Yeah.
yeah.
I want to know if he still had it.
Yeah, he does. He just bought it like 8 months ago.
Yeah.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, because I wasn't sure if this was the first car he had a while ago, if this is like a recent...
No.
If it is, then that is cool. Yeah, fair enough.
And he's done a lot of work to it as well, like wheel bearings, electrics, injection, and
Yeah.
all sorts of things.
Cool.
So, kudos to you for buying
Yeah.
an old, what is basically a classic car,
Oh, absolutely,
and then
yeah.
keeping it running.
180 horsepower, that's really good, you know,
Yeah.
especially for the early 80s.
It won't weigh
fine.
much.
Yeah.
And it's got a very small kind of footprint on the road, so it'd be very great, very good stride.
That's pretty much a predecessor of the current Zs, right? So
Yeah.
370, 350.
It's one of the so it was the third Z cars, 240, 260, 280, I believe. You don't quote me on that bit. Feel free to chime in on the comments if I am wrong. So yeah, this would precede all the current Z models. Well, there's not many 350, 400Z these days.
Yeah, it's amazing.
370Z.
But I have to say, there are so many good cars in this list. I think if we have time, maybe we can have a look at some.
Yeah, we'll
other
take a
ones,
look at a
'cause
couple
there's
more, yeah.
some really good ones here.
We'll do some runners up for sure. But yeah, that one's awesome.
Very, very cool.
Yeah, so congrats.
Thank you
In
for
addition to
sharing
having
with
like the
us.
coolest car ever, you now also have a free CF pack and top drives.
Yay.
So lucky you. Yeah, thanks very much. All right, so we'll move on to the last one we got on the list. Sorry for briefly spoiling it. I think Seb Fry in the comments there has already noticed that, and it wasn't his. Maybe we'll take a look at his too. You said he submitted one, so. But in the meantime, the last one we have, which Dimitri picked,
Yeah.
is this Peugeot. It's another Peugeot 306.
Yeah, I mean, the reason why I picked it is I have to be honest, I'm not a big fan of Peugeots, and I'll explain why. But I picked it because there is also a story I have to tell that comes with it, okay?
All right.
So I'll just read what the Majestic 42 says. So this is my lovely Peugeot 306, pure car, no ABS, ESP or anything. You could feel the road in your hands through the wheel. It had an four-inline engine which ran super smooth and was crazy funny to drive due to being crazy light. After 3 years of using the car, one day my mother-in-law drove it to work for the first time as hers, was in the workshop, and while bringing it back, it died. Timing belt broke, which was expected, so I had to scrap it. Yeah, I still have great memories of it. So the reason I'm bringing this up is because I had a Peugeot, which is quite similar, but it was a newer generation, 307, and it was also my first car. So that was some years ago. But the funny story was that I've had that car for about 6 months, and it was, okay. I mean, it dripped some oil a little bit. It was a 2003 car, by the way. So it was dripping some oil, but it did the work, and then on a lovely August or maybe July it was afternoon, as I switched my job, so I had to go to another city. I was moving everything, all my stuff was in the car, Peugeot 307, everything completely fully loaded with all my stuff. I've been driving for a couple of days now because I was moving from like north of England to the south, or to Midlands rather. So this beautiful afternoon near Warwick, where I was meant to be living, I'm driving along the motorway, and the car dies. So the engine went. With all my stuff in it, I was stuck basically on the roundabout, essentially that goes off the motorway. There's a roundabout on the side. So it's like 6 p.m. All these cars looking at me, beeping, and looking at what the hell is he doing? I'm broken down. Like,
surely they can work that out.
What do you think I'm doing? But because it didn't have very strong lights, so it couldn't really indicate us. People couldn't really see in the sun what was happening.
Yeah.
So it died on me, and there was no point in doing anything to it. I just had to scrap it, and then after that, what followed was a pretty crazy story, that involved me going to at like 6 a.m. to a random car park in Coventry to buy a used Ford Fiesta from some really dodgy people, and driving it for a week without any documents on it, illegally essentially, because I couldn't get it taxed properly because they gave me the wrong V5C. And then it ended with it being parked for a month at a place that I was renting temporarily, so I had a landlord actually there, and so it was there for like a month while I got myself a newer car, and essentially it started like rotting while it was there in the car park. It just all the tires went flat. On the Fiesta, Peugeot was long dead by the time. But that Fiesta was 04. It was remapped, by the way. It was absolutely flying for some reason. And then in one nice afternoon was as I decided it was time to scrap it, and then I came from work and I get the guy to get it to scrapyard, and he came in at like 5, and he's putting all the cables and everything like that, and right at that moment my landlord like drives past and he says, "So that was your car after all?" So that was your car after all. We couldn't figure out whose car this was.
You're like, "Well, I'm moving it now."
So that was a bit of a story, but that's where
nice.
where 307, and but it was like when I had it wasn't fast or anything like that. It was skidding on the snow, but it was okay.
I guess Majestic 42's Peugeot met a less bad fate than yours did then.
Yeah.
Oh, Campbell's the end. If it goes.
No, it wasn't Campbell in my case. It was just what's that word when the engine loses pressure? What's the word?
Compression.
Basically decompressed. So there was nothing else to do. But this one is actually quite clean. So it's the 306 that the Majestic 42 has here. Like some bangs here and there, but these cars are getting rarer. You don't see them.
Yeah.
In the UK, you don't see these.
No, not anymore. They're getting exceptionally rare for like normal ones in good condition.
If you go to like Spain, plenty of them actually.
France as well.
Yeah.
They do
for sure. Yeah.
So there's a comment there that says, "Dimitri going illegal."
Yeah, it was quite crazy because I was like in the car park like 6-7 a.m. and I just contacted these guys on Facebook like really randomly. It's like, "Do you have this car?" "Yeah, I've got 350. I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna come."
It does sound legit.
Yeah, that sounds really sketchy.
Yeah.
And they were just like, I think they started it. Oh yeah, it was funny because to start it, you had to open the bonnet and you had to. I think there was some. I can't remember what it was. You had to basically there was like a fuel tube or something like that. You had to press a little bit, before starting, and then it would start. But at least it drove. I mean,
it got you from point A to point B.
Yeah.
So your Peugeot broke. You then bought a Fiesta for 350 quid in a car park in Coventry. That you had to start by going under the bonnet.
Essentially, yeah.
And then you got the Fiesta scrapped and bought something else.
Yeah.
What did you buy after that?
Well, that's my current car, Civic.
Oh.
Right.
Yeah.
So it all ended well then.
Yeah, I was running for about. My Civic is still running, but it's last year with it because it's just there are some issues with it that I don't want to fix anymore. So yeah, I'll be moving to something else soon. So
It's a good choice.
yeah, no, the Civic is a good car, but drove around well. Yeah,
definitely,
it was good.
So someone said, Warwick to Coventry is a fair drive, M5, M6 driver themselves.
Yeah, that's a nice area, but it's not that long of a drive. It's about 20 minutes, as far as I remember. It's pretty quick.
It's a 20-minute drive, and you managed to break down during that.
Well, I was driving from northern England,
Oh, right,
so
yeah.
but that was the day. Yeah, but remember, I had all my stuff in that car as well.
Yeah, that's
all everything I had in my life.
So you had to get it towed,
yeah,
and then you had to go there with another car to get all your stuff back.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then the Airbnb lady kept telling me, can you remove that Peugeot from my drive?
Can I please be gifted a CF pack or something? You got to tune into the next live stream and answer a question. Maybe we'll pick you. Maybe you'll get a free CF. Yeah. Nice.
I mean, there's some very cool cars posted on this thread.
Yeah.
So what do we have? We have a Dodge Dart. A Dodge Dart Aero. Not a car we get here in the UK.
No.
It's kind of like a small saloon car, but it looks like a Charger from the back. So that kind of makes it quite cool.
That does look cool.
And it's called the Dart. I mean, a car called the Dart. A Dart is a good name for a car.
Yeah,
is there any way we can put it on the screen?
I was just thinking that.
Yeah.
I'm not logging into my Discord, which is such a shame. Short of holding Ben's laptop up to it.
Can you join the meeting? I'll join the meeting and I'll share the screen for that.
Okay, let me briefly. Don't worry, guys. We're going to show you some more cool cars.
Slight technical issue.
Well, I mean, we're working on the
technical
fly.
update.
Yeah, send me a meeting link or something, and I'll do it.
Can I though? Yeah, probably gonna be too difficult this.
But we can
just chat. Yeah, I suppose
we can chat, and also we can, if you want to follow along, take a look in the thread in Discord.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to see. So if you haven't joined the Discord yet, go ahead and do that. It'll pop up somewhere down here in a second, and you'll be able to see. But yeah, we've got some really cool ones in there. Have we got Seb Fry's? Is Seb Fry's name on Discord as well? He was saying he had something pretty cool in there.
Just going through now.
Seb Fries. Okay.
Seb Fry, I think. I mean, that's his YouTube name. It's possible. I think his username might be something else. He'll probably correct me in a second if it is. Hello, there he is.
Has he come back?
I mean, I like the someone posted the Golf.
Oh, he's Blob Eye guy.
The Golf GTI TCR. That's a very rare car, though.
That's a very cool car.
We have it in top drives.
Yep. I've driven one of those, and it is a very good car.
It's that 7th generation, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the last of the 7.5. Okay, Blob Eye guy.
7.5?
Yeah, because it was kind of they made it kind of run out special for the GTI because they can take more away and then charge more money. So. So, Blob Eye guy, Subaru WRX STI.
That's pretty cool.
Although I know it doesn't look like a Blob Eye, it looks like the facelifted model to me.
But he's the Blob Eye guy.
Yeah.
He's supposed to have Blob Eye.
And I noticed it looks like he's been to Goodwood here as well.
Can people see on the screen?
No. You have to show the screen.
There you go.
There he is.
Don't mind the screen. Yeah.
This Dimitri got yoga all down it.
And it is in the best Subaru colour, blue.
That's true.
Yeah. Every Subaru has to be blue. That should be the law.
What's the story with it here? I'll dramatically read it. I can get into it.
Yeah.
This is my absolute pride and joy Subaru WRX STI that I have been lucky enough to own her for about a year and a half. This is my dream car when I was growing up watching Subaru race in the WRC. I was 21 at the time of purchase, and the idea of me being able to buy this at 21 seemed ridiculous. Those of you who are in the UK knows the joys of young driver insurance. That is completely true, actually.
Yep.
This is a JDM import, and it carries a few benefits over the UK car. Can I turn up your brightness a little bit? Sorry. There we go. JDM import, which carries a few benefits over the UK cars. Better twin scroll turbo, updated engine internals, quick steering system, and a few others. Funnily enough, my car was the cheapest car by far in the dealer that I bought it from. They import Nissan Skyline, GTRs, R32s, R33, R34. So it was a fantastic experience to get to go and see them all. In fact, they had an extremely rare one of 40 R33 400R that was for sale for £1.6 million. That sounds like a pretty cool place. However, I feel like this is going to take a dark turn here.
Yep.
2 months into ownership, it got ruined in the weirdest crash I've ever seen. I was driving on the motorway in awful weather, rain, and extremely high winds. I was about to overtake a van towing a food trailer when the metal roof, roughly 8 feet by 6 feet sort of size, so a hefty chunk of metal, of the food trailer blew off, flew into the middle of the middle lane of traffic and landed on my Subaru. It tore the spoiler off, boot massively out of alignment, all sorts of scratches and dents in the roof, C-pillar and rear quarter. I've included one photo of the damage so you can see. As I have told people before, it's so weird, they think I'm lying. At the same time, I was heartbroken. But now all has been fixed. Actually realised quite how lucky I am that it hit the back of the car and didn't come through the windscreen. That's true. This car has since been repaired to the highest standard, as I couldn't care seeing it done poorly. My heart already hurt enough. Attached some pictures of the car. I love it. Some local car spots near me, including Goodwood, in some great company. I try my best to take the car to as many shows and events as possible. Thank you. I'll be in the YouTube chat. Well, thank you for that. That was I'm glad you managed to get it repaired.
We're having some crazy stories today.
Yeah.
Like everyone's just having some ridiculous stories with tragic events that destroyed their cars. I don't know what's going on. We had a fire, we had this, you know.
But people, you know, when this happens, they get them fixed because they love their cars. Like, I mean, Blubber guy obviously loves his Subaru.
Yeah.
And there it is without a wing on it and damaged. Wow.
Yeah, it looks like a normal Subaru.
Yeah, it looks like you've gone for the wing delete option.
Yeah.
So
By the way, 1.7 million for an R33. That's
that's
a lot of money.
Yeah, a lot of people just have been parking them up for the last decade and not running them, just keeping them pristine for import.
That's
and export.
money.
Yeah, but if it's got like 200 miles on it, it's brand new. It probably is worth.
An R33.
Yeah, it's insane.
That's crazy.
And they were what 50 grand 10 years ago.
That's nuts.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like the best investment you could possibly
But that's
make.
the one with miles on it. Like this one is probably 25 years old.
Basically
has never
out of the
been
factory.
driven.
Yeah.
It's probably factory fresh.
Yeah.
So they buy it to never drive it as well, I guess.
Yeah.
They buy them from.
I mean, if you buy two, run one for 25 years, and then sell the other for 1.6 million.
It's like what people do with video games at the moment.
You go, well, you could just live off 1.6
Yeah, but
million.
why would anyone buy it for 1.7 million?
Because they got more money than sense.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
It's so I've not driven R33 or R34. I've only driven R35, so the latest GTR. I can only imagine it drives like a car from the 1990s. Which is not the greatest thing. 1.6 million pounds for a car that drives like it's from, because it is from the 1990s. Is
the majority of people wouldn't even know what car it is. You know.
No. So I wonder if these guys would pay 1.6 million for an R33.
Yeah, would anyone here do that? That's what I want to know in the chat.
I mean, I like the. Someone had some really good words about this Civic Type R, the FK8 here. In one of the, I think they've done some really nice mods to it as well.
Harlow Japanese Autos was the dealer. I was born in Harlow.
That's near my house.
Ah, there you go.
There we go.
Very cool.
I like the mods though. You know, quite a bit of stuff in here.
I've driven it 50,000 kilometers as well.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
People hate the looks, but I actually prefer it over any other car.
I really like that generation.
Yeah, me too.
And it's really good to drive.
I can imagine.
I mean, it's a how can I put it? It's a yobbo's car. As in the moment you get in one, you just want to drive it like a yobbo.
Just go nuts.
And it looks like Sonic the Hedgehog with all the spikes and everything sticking out of it.
I mean, it looks like a perfect family car to me. I'm not sure what you're talking about. 4 doors.
Yeah, it's
big trunk, you know.
Yeah. And if you drive it like a normal human being and not overtake 3 cars at once on every road you're on, it's actually pretty efficient.
Yeah.
Does like 33, I think, from memory off the top of my head.
Yeah, nice one by Byte CTR. That's a good one.
Yeah, I think we got a couple other people in the chat. Brendan Abdal says, I've got the old Merc on Discord. I don't know if there's multiple old Mercs in there. It's quite a big thread. A lot of people submitted cars. I'm quite happy that...
so the Merc SLK 320.
I think my mum had one of these.
Show you all a photo. So my laptop is slightly...
What would be the engine in this car?
So it will be the 3.2 V6, I believe, unless it's the one where the engine under the bonnet was like a 3 litre and they just kept badging them up as a 280 or a 320 depending on the power output.
It's nice.
Yeah, my mum had an SLK. Is this one convertible? Because
yeah.
That was a really nice car. I'm kind of upset she got rid of it. It was nice to drive in the summer.
In the boot.
Yeah.
And I think the SLKs they look quite good, as in it's aged quite well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because they're from like the early 2000s, right?
Yeah. I think they've just actually killed off the SLK because no one was buying it anymore.
Yeah.
So problem is no one buys convertibles these days, apparently. Very cool car. Brendan Abdal.
I like from John Attacks with the Fiat Punto Mark 1 from 1997. Still got 20,000 kilometers on it. It's nice.
Is that it?
Yeah, nice condition.
What's that, about 14,000 miles?
Yeah, not a lot for a car of that age, right?
I drove all of my cars like 16,000 miles
Yeah.
last year.
Slovakia as well. Yeah, it looks clean.
It's a very original looking car.
Yeah.
Well, someone else, what's the rarest car you've all seen? Can you answer that on the top of your head?
Rarest car I've ever seen. Very good question, Caleb. I'm going to say the Honda Civic Type R pickup truck.
Which gen?
Honda, it was the previous generation, so the same as the car we've just looked at.
Okay.
But it was essentially a pickup truck of that Honda UK or someone in Europe made and then gave it to Honda UK, and then we all got to drive it at an event. It's not a road legal car because it doesn't have number plates. But that is a true one of one.
Yeah.
Because it's terrible, because no one would ever buy one because you'd be stupid to buy one. Yeah, that's the rarest car I've ever seen.
Yeah. So, it must be something I've seen at a car show or something, because I've been to a couple, but I can't think off the top of my head. I'm not sure.
How about you, Dimitri?
No, I can't think. I can't.
Probably Fiesta in a Coventry car park?
Remapped, yes.
Yeah, remapped.
Yeah.
There's a special way to start the engine. Yeah. That sounds like
that was good.
Yeah.
Oh, the person who asked that, LTB MLG2, said, I've seen a 1 of 36 Lamborghini Huracan Evo.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's very rare.
I mean, someone has Slick Rick 716 has the 2018 AMG GTR on our Discord. That's crazy.
That is. I mean, it's a very good looking car. It's. We'll have to show the viewers. The viewers. Well, you might not be at home. There might be somewhere.
They're at work.
It's the type of car you're driving it and you're like, I'm in.
The Mercedes AMGs always make a great sound. Like no matter what everyone else does, like BMW, Porsche, and you can tell it's an AMG Merc coming down the road just because it sounds very kind of like guttural and just growling. It's like you take one to the shops and it just growls while you're in the car park. So, or take one to a drive-through.
To answer your question, Robert, who just joined the stream, we have talked about the minimum races per prize tier stuff already. But again, the main takeaway is we're going to be putting out a full FAQ, probably most likely tomorrow, about it, that's going to answer every question you might have. And it will also be out before any events use the minimum races feature, so you don't have to worry about racing in any events, not knowing what to expect.
I mean, how can we not mention the Absinthe FTW's Evolution 8 from 1997? I mean, definitely a worthy entry, you know?
It is like a JDM kind of hero car. Like, just... And they fetch really good money these days. Like, they're still really expensive. So it's the FQ 280, is it, with a 280 horsepower?
Yeah.
It is? Yeah. It's a rally car with number plates. there's not much else to say, really.
Yeah.
It'll be brilliant. I mean, it'll probably be back-braking to drive, because I expect it rides quite hard. But it's still really good looking.
Except for us as loving the car chat, by the way, guys, my opportunity to go full nerd. So I brought these guys along.
Yeah, I mean, we have also Taz, who has posted a bunch of his cars, from Renault Clio RS 200, Focus RS, Cupra 290, TVR Tomorrow, which is, I guess, the cherry on the top of everything.
The TVR is the video.
Yeah.
And he currently drives in...
2 cars, so the Cupra and the Clio
crazy.
RS. I'm not sure. Have you driven the Clio RS, Ben?
Yeah.
Yeah? Fun?
Gearbox was a bit rubbish. It was a bit slow with the changes. So, and I don't...
I saw one jumping lanes in front of me a couple of days ago, actually. Very aggressively.
So
maybe it was
Taz.
Yeah, it was Taz.
Taz's dad has got an Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio. Fun story, I was going to drive one of those, and they closed the track, and so I was sort of sitting at the entrance to a track waiting to drive it. Got denied, had to drive it back, so I drove it round the car park. That's as far as I got in one. Last year I finally got to drive one on the road, a blue press car, and then they tell you that you need to turn the button all the way to turn the traction control off to turn it into maximum sport mode and open up the exhaust. And in that mode, I then drove it and it rained with no traction control, and it was a bit sketchy.
Yeah.
But the sound it made, the Quadrifoglio, is just epic.
I thought you were about to say that you...
I tried my best not to crash it. All very good choice. I still think the Clio is a really good car. Just let's not talk about the gearbox. And the Focus RS, yes.
Reminded me of
I like the Cupra as well. Cupra is awesome. My friend has the basic one, the 2.0 FR. I don't know, it's just flying. You know, it's a very fast car for what it is. Even like if you put it against, I don't know, like, you know, obviously, like, you know,
Golf GTI, Focus ST.
No, more like, you know, even the BMWs, you know, like 5th gen, you know, like 430, 420, you know, it will beat them at the start. They obviously, because they have bigger engine, they will go further. But, you know, at the very beginning, it's quite fast with good tires. It's fast, you know. I liked it. And
they got quite kind of, like, they do them in cool colours with, like, the copper accents and stuff. I think is a really cool feature, because it kind of makes them subtle, but they stand out over, like, a Golf GTR, you know, with their own kind of look. And actually, Taz, some of these photos you've taken are really good. The one with the tail light of the Cupra against the dark sky, which I'll show to
it looks nice.
the readers at home. It is.
I mean, as far as
a very slick photo.
I think Taz was one of the first people to ever win the Spotted contest, actually, when it started.
Taz does,
won it like a million times now.
Yeah. You take some good pictures.
And the TVR. It's a good car. It's a very good car.
Nice.
I'm not very familiar with TVRs, to be honest.
They don't make them anymore.
Yeah.
And I suspect that some of them they have very weird button configurations. Like, starting one is like trying to solve a jigsaw puzzle.
Well, it's a British car, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, no, I think they just did it deliberately because they could. So, yeah.
Cool. We'll also have the 2019 GTR Rabbit Edition from Mr. Nia. I like the colour on this.
So basically, it's a Volkswagen Golf GTI, but it's called the GTI Rabbit in North America.
Right, okay.
It's a very cool colour. I don't think we get that colour in Europe.
It's very sky blue.
Yeah, it's like a pale kind of. Is it solid or metallic? I can't tell.
I think that's solid.
Yeah. It's actually like a really quite a cool blue. It kind of reminds me of the Ford Focus RS blue, as in nitro blue. I think that was called. But Mark 7.5 Golf GTI or Rabbit GTI, whatever you want to call it, it's a very good car. So
nice.
And we also have Moshin with the 2023 Kia Forte GT. I've never seen those. Is that American?
Yeah, I think so.
If I do one of these again, I'm going to have to find a way to show these cars off properly on the screen so everyone can see it too.
So I believe we get these over here, but we don't get them
It's
anymore.
an American number plate.
Yeah, we get a different name, and
Ah,
possibly
yeah.
we only
Singer?
got a diesel. Yeah, I think so. They made it for like a couple of model years, and then
Pretty sure Stinger is still Stinger in the US though. So
no,
probably some-
Stinger is larger. I can't remember what it's called. Mainly because we don't have it in the game yet.
That was a question somebody asked, by the way. I think it might be a good one to wind down on.
Yeah.
What is a car that you would love to have in top drives that currently can't be in the game due to licensing issues?
I mean, I personally don't know all the cars that are on top drives, but the Civic FK8 would be pretty good that we just looked at.
Yeah. Or the new Civic.
Well, the new Civic, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, the new Civic would be a good one. Wow, that's a really difficult question.
I mean, Golf R, new one. We don't have that thing. We don't have the new GTI probably.
Yeah, new GTI, something like new Golf GTI Club Sport. So the one with the one that has more horsepower and uprated brakes. Only comes in a DSG though. Or new BMW M2 competition, I think would be a great addition.
Yeah.
Or BMW M3 Touring.
I love the new BMW M2.
Yeah.
I don't know, like people hate the shape. I love it. It's so robotic.
It looks very angular. It's
Yes.
very square edge.
It's
It's
amazing.
quite a hell of a stance.
very distinctive. I
Yeah.
love it. I don't know why it gets so much hate, but
Yeah, and I guarantee, though the reviews aren't out yet, it's going to drive brilliantly because the
Yeah.
last one, the last M2 comp was amazing to drive, and I assume this one is going to be exactly the same, if not better. So yeah,
Sweet.
Germany and Japan basically.
Yeah.
Those are our choices. Sorry, that's not very varied. I know. What about you, Caleb?
I'm going to be boring and pick a Ferrari because we can't have any Ferraris in game.
Whoa.
Well, we said stuff that we don't have in game.
Yeah,
that we
yeah,
probably
yeah,
won't
yeah.
ever
That's
have in game.
quite a lot, to be honest.
Any particular Ferrari?
A Ferrari. When I was really young,
Magnum
I think
Ferrari maybe.
Huh?
Magnum Ferrari.
Magnum
Magnum
Ferrari.
might be a bit for your time.
Perhaps. When I was young, my teenage dream car that I always used to look at in the newspaper because at the back of the Sunday Times they had the section where they'd sell supercars for super expensive.
Yeah.
I always saw a Ferrari Enzo on there and I always thought it was really cool.
Yeah.
So I'll probably pick a Ferrari Enzo.
Seb Fry, I can't believe the only picture I've shown of his Subaru was the one with the broken.
I promise you, there are some really cool pictures of it.
I didn't even notice it. Like, I was.
I think we should show another
Yeah, go
image,
on.
just one where it's not broken. You see, so that's what it looks like when it's all in one piece with the
Yeah.
spoiler before the wing delete or after the wing delete. So
Ferrari F40. Yeah, that's a good shout.
yeah, great choice.
But yes, to reiterate, no plans to put Ferrari in the game,
No,
as always.
there are no plans at all to put Ferrari.
No,
in the game.
Whoa.
whatsoever.
Right in the heart.
Yeah.
So sorry, all you
That's
Ferrari fans.
that's a plaster we got to rip off every stream because somebody always asks it and we've
Yeah.
got the same answer every single time.
Yeah, all complaints can be addressed to Caleb at the Hutch office.
Please
So
do
or
not do
Dimitri.
that. I'm not in charge of licensing, even if I was.
Nothing to do with me. I don't even know what my job is here.
So,
Yeah.
more stuff with Ferrari. What else have we got? Another Ferrari?
Another will Ferrari ever be in the game and somebody answering no for us. So we're training people.
Someone's saying that Evos are awesome. Oh, mention of Tommy. Mitsubishi Yuko is actually signed by, they still have that car. There is actually a Tommy Mackinnon edition that is with Mitsubishi UK, and they do let people drive it. I have seen it and I haven't driven it for some reason. I don't know why I ignored it. I'm really sorry. Next time I see it, I'll try and drive it
Yeah.
with their permission.
Yeah, I was
obviously.
going to say, just run at it and dive
Not
in.
going to break into the box and steal it or anything. They still have that car. 599 GTO, great choice.
I would have Skoda Kodiaq RS.
BOS.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't want the new one. The new one's not very good.
I think there's only one Kodiaq RS.
No, they've replaced it with a petrol. engine.
Oh, okay.
And it's not the diesel one wasn't that good
Is it
anyway.
brand new or something? I didn't even know.
So-
Because-
Yeah, for anyone that knows about new cars, it's a 4-cylinder engine, but you can make it sound like a 5-cylinder on the inside. It sounds like a rally car on the inside, but really from the outside it just sounds like a bag of bolts. And it's not particularly quick, not economical, quite expensive, and not that great to drive. Sorry, Dimitri.
Yeah.
Drive
I was
one,
thinking
you
about
might
the
love
other
it.
Nice. All right. There's one more interesting question there I want to take, and then maybe
Yeah.
we'll wrap it up. But yeah, does it cost to have brands in the game that do not exist anymore? Because we've got a couple of those.
It's a good question.
Yeah. So this is where brands like Rover, for example, which are essentially dead.
Yeah.
Somebody has bought the rights to that.
And you have to
Yeah. So imagine like TVR, for example, is a good case of this. So allegedly, or I have read that somebody owns the rights to the early cars, and then the company went bankrupt, and then was resurrected with the present owner or the original owner, but the rights to the original cars were lost to somebody else or another party, and therefore they're split between two owners.
Right. Yeah.
So
you have to speak both.
I believe it's the same. It happens a lot where people acquire or companies acquire the names or rights to brands
Yeah.
and their back catalogue of cars, which might be separated by bankruptcy.
Makes sense. Interesting.
We do have some really old cars, don't we? I can't remember now what it was. The one that looks like a tractor but has fire coming out of it. Which one was it?
That's the Alfa Romeo. It's their 16-cylinder record car from the 1930s. I can't remember the name of it.
So my question is, could we ever have Ford T in the game?
Ever have Ford?
Could we have Ford T?
Ford Model T or?
Yeah.
Yes and no. I think possibly it's not in line with our kind of strategy of putting the best performing cars in the game.
Yeah.
Because the Ford Model T does what, 20 miles an hour?
At best, yeah.
With a man in front of it with a flag.
Yeah.
Maybe that was a bit earlier than that. Yeah, it's not particularly fast, unfortunately. So, and there's not many around. So,
Yeah.
and it doesn't corner very well, which is obviously important thing for top drives.
It is.
So.
It was just DNA on every track, just 0 to 60.
It doesn't finish.
DNF, so.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Well.
Do you have any more questions? I think we're good.
Well, this has been a fun one, guys. Thanks for everyone who shared their car stories. I know we only picked 3, but there was some really great ones in there, and I'm glad we got around to look at those.
Lit.
Yeah. I hope you enjoyed our ridiculous stories too, specifically Dimitri's insane. Well, actually, both of your stories are pretty insane, to be honest. So
He had like 2 cars in like the space of a week.
that's true. Yeah, that is
3
kind of
cars,
nice.
yeah.
Mine only caught fire and was fine.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
it was all
But yeah, thanks guys. It's been really fun. Again, we want to try and do some more of these as we go forward. We will do our regular Q&A streams. Will still be happening as well. We'll probably have another one of those at the end of the month, and we'll be taking questions for that and for any of these future chat ones we do on our Discord server. So please do jump in there, have a look, and yeah. So thanks for tuning in, guys.
Thanks for coming.
Thank
Cheers.
you. We'll catch you on
Bye.
the next one.